Fox News alert now. Questions remain regarding the Amtrak train crash that has killed 6 people and injured so many more, over about 140 there. What are the legal implications for the passengers and what rights do they have, and for Amtrak as well? Joining us now to discuss, civil and criminal attorney Eric Guster and defense attorney Whitney Boan. Thank you both for joining me here. I want to start with this first. Amtrak is owned by the government. How does that complicate things in terms of what the passengers' rights to claims are? Whitney?
Well, it complicates it in terms of whether or not there's some qualified immunity that's going to apply for any claims that may exist for the passengers of this train or for the families of the victims of those who are unfortunately deceased as a result of this crash. So that remains to be seen in terms of what liability, if any, is going to be assigned to Amtrak, to the government, to any component part makers for this train, any people operating the tracks. We don't know at this point because it's too soon as far as who's going to be liable. The legal implications will become more clear as we find out more about what happened.
Eric, what specific claims could passengers be putting forward here, and particularly the families of the deceased?
The families of the deceased will have several claims, including wrongful death. There may be product liability issues, which with crashes like this, oftentimes there's something that happened with the equipment, and we just don't know yet. That's why the NTSB, they're starting investigating it, and those types of reports will go to show exactly what happened in this crash. For example, if there was a wrong switch, if the switch did not work properly, or if it shifted to the conductor, if that person was sleepy and was not paying attention, that would shift liability to them. So there is liability somewhere because trains are not supposed to derail. But the question is exactly who's to blame.
Should trains have seatbelts? You know, they do in Europe right now. I mean, is the federal government going to be liable here for not providing seatbelts to passengers on trains like this? Whitney?
I don't know. I don't know the best way that we deal with that from a legal perspective, but what I can tell you is as a human being and as someone who would be horrified to be on that train or to be the family member of someone who is on that train, put seatbelts on the train. You know, we're hearing about people being thrown across the train. We're hearing about loved ones being thrown on top of loved ones and catching each other, you know, as this train flipped over. I don't see how seatbelts could be such an extreme expense for Amtrak or the federal government, so that we don't have to worry about these sort of things happening when situations and tragedies like this occur.
Sure. Eric, final word?
Yeah. My prayers go out to these people. I ride this train all the time, but there is definitely liability on Amtrak's part, perhaps, because trains should not derail, and prayers up for these people. It's pretty sad. Absolutely. Our thoughts and prayers are with all the families of those victims. And on our website is the 800 number if anyone is still looking for their family member there. We want to thank both Whitney Boan and Eric Guster for joining us at Fox & Friends. Thanks. Thank you. Up next. Continuing coverage of the deadly train derailment in Philadelphia with the man who helped America through one of the most difficult tragedies that we face, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor, with us next.